Today we're at a very special place. About 20 minutes east of San Francisco in industrial West Berkeley sits the venue, 924 Gilman Street.
Ritual practices of Ultra Q fans. I thought they were going to sacrifice that boy to the demiurge.
The 12-year-old?
Yeah, he was like 12. I was scared. I thought this was ancient practices of the Vatican.
The epicenter of the East Bay punk music during the mid-'80s was founded by a fanzine and a radio show called Maximum Rock and Roll, but more specifically by the founder of that radio show, Tim Yohannan.
And now, stay tuned for Tim and the Gang on Maximum Rock and Roll.
924 Gilman Street originally opened their doors in 1986 on New Year's Eve, branding themselves as not only the new mecca of Bay Area punk music, but a changing of the tides in the traditional concert promotion business. Their philosophy was revolutionary, and their goal was to discreetly allow new East Bay Area punk bands to find a place to play. Everything from their non-profit nature to being entirely ran by volunteers to banning drugs and alcohol and fighting, it was the first punk rock club of its time. And somehow through the ebbs and flows of the life of Gilman Street, they've maintained the exact same value structure from the day they started, even though the economy they exist in now makes it far more difficult to do so. But with that being said, with how long the venue's been open, it's certainly had its fair share of difficulties. Most famously, the venue actually closed only 2 years after opening its doors due to financial problems. This marked the original ownership group in Maximum Rock and Roll's end of involvement with Gilman. But a new group of volunteers almost immediately reopened the venue and found a way to keep the community going. Needless to say, the history of Gilman Street runs very deep.
Totally tubular, awesome sauce. Hell yeah. Awesome sauce. Hell yeah.
I've been to a lot of Ultra Q shows. They've long been one of my favorite bands in the Bay Area. But this one, it felt special. This was a co-headlined event at Gilman from Mt Eddy and Ultra Q, who just so happened to be the same band. After the quartet of Kevin Judd, Jacob Armstrong, Chris and Enzo Malaspina met in elementary school, they didn't go on to form the band Ultra Q. First, they formed the band Mt Eddy. That band went on to release one full-length album entitled Chroma, which went to be kind of a cult classic in the Bay Area and definitely one of the more successful releases to come out of the region in recent years. Recently though, Ultra Q has found success making music that's a far cry from the pop-punk sensibilities that made up the Mt Eddy days. Their debut record as Ultra Q, My Guardian Angel, was released last year, and the album leans far more into the synth rock territory than any of their previous material. Ultra Q's sophomore release, Empty Eddy, dropped just a few months ago, and it sees the band going in a far more punk rock heavy direction than a lot of their previous material. Needless to say, very similar to the venue they played at this night, Ultra Q is no stranger to change.
I went to the Uncool Halloween 2017 show, I think, and that was the first time I saw them, and then I brought him.
Yeah, my first introduction to them. On my pupils are dilating into two separate orbs.
I'm starting to think you're a drug addict, Rich.
Yeah. Crazy, going from like Mt Eddy and then pandemic and then now like Ultra Q and everything with the new music. Definitely good change. Love seeing them still playing together.
What originally drew you to their music?
I don't know, just the kind of intimate crowd, audience, you know, grassroots kind of thing, yeah.
This was easily one of the most packed shows at Gilman I've ever seen. Probably because the venue literally doubled their cap earlier this year because they added a side door. And that right there has to be the most Gilman core thing that's humanly possible. That slight structural alteration feels incredibly emblematic of the ethos of Gilman Street. Because they're a community-run organization, it takes them a lot longer to get things done than a traditional venue. But I'll be damned if those people don't fight harder than anybody I've ever seen to get those things done. And they've done so for nearly 40 years. If there was one takeaway I got from this show, on this day, at this venue, with this band, it's that change is inevitable. But if you fight like hell to maintain the value structure of your venue, or your band, or whatever, a feeling can live forever. I'm ATBDante, and this has been Scene Analysis.